Gotcha. And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wrestle Purist Raw Review. I'm your host, Ibu of Wrestle Purist, better known to many of you guys as Backup Hangman. And I'm joined, as always, by Rob of the C Nation. And we're going to talk about last night's episode of Monday Night Raw, get into the show. We have a new match official for Bash in Berlin. But, of course, if you're a fan of the Wrestle Purist Raw Review, you knew of this match a week ago. Nevertheless, we'll talk about Raw. We'll talk about all the advancements and developments to the show. We'll talk about the new Intercontinental Championship tournament that's been announced to crown a new contender for Braun Breaker. I'll give you guys some background news as to why the tournament is really happening. And we'll do some power scaling. We'll do some predictions. We'll give our pitches for who we want the bracket to be. And so much more. So we'll talk about last night's episode of Raw, what we liked, what we didn't like, the great matches that happened, so on and so forth. And make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, and super chat if you have not. This is going to be one of those shows like the recent ones where you guys dictate the pace. You guys kind of steer the ship here. And we'll answer whatever you guys ask for us. So we'll have some fun, strap in, and we'll take it away. Rob, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I'm not on cam today because I am not home. I am at my place of business, but today I have come to handle some business and talking about Monday Night Raw. I thought Monday Night Raw was a pretty good show. The things that I wanted
Yeah.
them to hit on, I think they kind of I won't say they knocked it out of the park, but I think they did pretty fair, pretty
Yeah.
well on, and I'm very excited to get into the show.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I thought there were two matches on this show I really liked, and another one that kind of surprised me. Another one that I begrudgingly had to admit was quite good. And there's a couple yeah, one I had to just kind of go, all right, that was dope. Um, Bronson Reed, he's been on a tear, and he's looking like he's going to take on Braun Strowman next, which is very exciting. And we're getting right to it. That one's going to be next week, so we'll get into that. We'll get into his match with the Miz. They went no DQ last night. Sheamus finally had his match against Pete Dunne. Randy Orton got himself loose. He faced Ludwig Kaiser in the main event of Monday Night Raw last night. Like I said earlier, we have an Intercontinental Championship tournament announced. The bracket has not been announced yet. We know one of the members is Jey Uso, but that's officially set starting next week. Uncle Howdy finally gets in the ring. Uncle Howdy will be facing Chad Gable next week on Monday Night Raw, and so much more. The Judgment Day stood tall against Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. And we had a women's tag title three-way that the expected participants shined in, and that would be, of course, Io Sky. So we'll talk about all that. Again, guys, make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, and super chat if you have not already. Do we have any super chats now, Rob?
Yes, we do. We have three right
Awesome.
now. Addy, 200 rupees. Sheamus rules. Randy Kaiser as well. New Judgment Day beatdown was needed. Punk drew with Blair. How did Phil feel? Is Jay entering the IC title scene a pivot or a delay? I thought he and Sammy were going for the tag titles.
Yeah, they still are going for the tag titles, but Sami Zayn wants some time off. And I think they're going to sync it up with SmackDown on USA, in my opinion. That's just my opinion / guess. But I think because Roman Reigns is going to miss the next few weeks of TV. So what I think they're going to do is Roman's going to sit out a few weeks. He's going to come back at the beginning of September. And in those few weeks that he's out, Jey Uso is going to do this thing. And I don't think he's going to win the IC tournament. I think he's just going to stay in this. I think Judgment Day is going to screw him out of it. I think there's going to be a week on Raw where they jump him and then Sammy makes the save. That's when they do their tag title match. And then you take care of that business. And then basically by the end of September, so what, maybe 5-6 weeks from now, they start to officially begin to transition their way over to SmackDown. And the October will essentially be the month where, you know, you start to see them intersecting with the bloodline. And
Yeah,
I'll say this. I know that people are kind of like, yo, can we just get to it? But you got to remember, War Games and Survivor Series is at the end of November. We're in August. You know, if you blow your load, pause, and get to all that stuff right now, what are you going to do on TV in the rest of the time? If you get to all that too fast and it's September and like they're all reunited and shit, you got 8 weeks to just have them like fighting over and over again, and that's going to get tedious and boring. So I think they're banking on the Roman, Jay, Sami Zayn money dynamic and their character lore and all that stuff. I think they're going to bank on that being the thing that kind of carries the TV in October.
no, definitely. And I think that going forward with the whole Jay and Sammy thing, I think that that's like I think that they definitely should by the time Survivor Series comes around should be back in the fold of the bloodline, especially since I don't think Jey Uso really has too much higher like of a ceiling to go. Like he already had several world title opportunities, several IC title opportunities at this point. I think it's time to move on. Get him back with Jimmy Uso. So, thank you
Yeah,
for the super chat.
it's why it's
You have
kind of
something else
funny.
to say?
It's why, Rob, it's kind of funny. I'm seeing Bloodline Twitter like complaining about Jey Uso's usage, but the truth is, like, if we're being fair here, man, like WWE has given him opportunities because of how over is, and I think they have a better handle now than ever before as to what Jey Uso actually is. Because he's over. We know this. People love to
Yeah.
see him. They love to party with the entrance. We all know that. They like to say yeet. But it's very clear what he is and what he isn't, and what he can do and what he cannot do. And so they very much have realized Jay's at his best as a sidekick, and they're going to let him continue to fulfill that role until it's time to get serious again with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, no, and it definitely should add it should add a lot to what's going on TV right now. But in terms of like I guess in terms of the punk, we'll get into all the other stuff that happened with Monday Night Raw. But in terms of the bloodline, that should be coming soon because can't take any more Yeet Punch matches. Thank you for the super chat. Adi 40 rupees. Where is Dragon Lee? Do Dragon Lee and Ray Do Lee and Ray versus Judgment Day before Judgment Day versus Jay and Sammy.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to see that match. I don't know if they're gonna do it before, but it just makes a lot of sense to do it. I think Ray and Lee is an underutilized tag team duo that they should have done more with. They wrestled a few like maybe a month or two ago where they teamed with Braun Strowman, I think it was, to fight the Judgment Day. But Dragon Lee and Ray is a perfect pairing to me because you get the young luchador you want to push, and then you get Rey Mysterio, who's the veteran and legend, and Ray's over and stuff, and Dragon Lee can do all the cool shit. So
Mhm.
yeah, I agree. I think they should definitely look into doing that match before because the other thing is if Jay and Sammy win the tag belts, which I'm not sure they are, but if they do, you want Finn Balor and JD to have a successful defense under their belt before it happens, of course.
Right, right, and I think where they're going with that story, with the Judgment Day story, I thought it was really well done the way they did the beatdown last night. But we also got to get Dragon Lee back on TV, just doing shit in general, like just wrestling in general. Like I don't really
Yeah,
care if he
yeah.
wins or loses. Well, he has to start winning because all he was doing before he left was losing. But
Right. Yeah, he came back to TV last week, and the word was they're working on his return. And by working on it, so they do this thing in WWE Creative. It's almost like they have like a puzzle. Picture this, Rob.
Mhm.
Picture picture a conveyor belt, right? And inside the conveyor belt is a very fully formed puzzle with all the pieces locked in, right? And they kind of have like that's kind of how they do their creative, and so they're looking for the next like empty spot to put a piece in to fit him into the fold to see what his angle is on TV. Because like if you notice, everybody on TV has some type of like angle. Like Bronson Reed is running through people, and now he's facing Strowman. That's why Strowman was sitting out to then be the big arrival, so on and so
Mhm.
forth. Everybody has some type of thing, and so the idea was we're going to find an opening to kind of slip you back in. Now, a nigga like me, I just drop the match graphic. You know what I mean? But
So
that's how they do it. So my presumption is he'll be in the Intercontinental Championship tournament.
we'll see. We'll see. Thank you for the
Yeah.
super chat. And let's go with Corey David, $2. Tavion Heights, the truth, but still won't beat Obafemi.
Have you heard my new agenda, Rob?
No, I have not heard you do agenda.
My new agenda is keep Tavion Heights in Japan for another month or two after the N1, right?
Hmm.
Maybe you know what? Honestly, bro, keep him until early January. Okay.
Yes.
And then he comes back. He's running through people 1996 Taz Path of Rage style. And you go Mania weekend, Tavion Heights, Oba Femi. He's the first man to beat Oba. That's my agenda.
I think that's definitely what they should do. And the thing is, like, also, bro, it help. You could tell it really helps people when they go like not even just to Japan, but they branch out and go other places as well. Like we've seen it lately with like Anna Jay. She hasn't even had any star-making performances, but you can see the slow improvements with every match that she has in the Stardom Grand Prix. So keeping some of these people over there in Japan, I would say fuck it, and if they want to put the fucking national title on them, because they put the national title on foreigners all the time. But if they want to put the national title on them over, just say go ahead and do it. Fuck it. See
Yeah,
where it goes.
I agree. Like genuinely, like literally, just let him do the N1. He's like I said, he's getting over there, right? And he's becoming a little bit of a like he's becoming like a bit of a sensation, like in this short time. He just had another good match with Yoshiki Inamura in their N1 tournament. I would literally just let him finish the tournament, and then again, you just do like 3 more tours with him where maybe he tags with a guy for their tag league thing. Maybe he freaking goes for the national belt, like you said. But whatever it is, you just continue to get him reps and experience and just let this thing roll until the end of December.
Right.
If nothing
It'll
else,
be
it's like I said, I've said before, it's a win-win, dude. Noah gets to continue to use an Olympian, and Japan is great with Olympians in general, and so you get to
mhm.
continue to roll with the shooter that you have, and it's a good talent to have, and it's an exciting young name that helps Noah on their shows, and then for WWE's end, when he comes back, you're getting a better wrestler. You're getting a better wrestler. So yeah, man, I'm all for this, and I hope he sticks around.
Definitely, definitely. Thank you for the super chat. Let's go to Jumanji Hunter. two. Let's go to Jumanji Hunter, $2. Saraya all in open challenge to lead to Jamie return. No.
So I was told the all-in card is complete. I was told that they're not going to add any more matches other than the ones that already exist. But I do expect a Saraya angle. So this wasn't outright said to me, but what I think they're going to do, Rob, I think she's going to run out there and do that like big mid-show speech whining about like not being on the card. The crowd will can't like shut the fuck up or whatever. And then boom, Jamie Hayter comes out and hits her with a finisher.
Like Miz hosting WrestleMania or SummerSlam
Exactly.
type shit.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say, it's very like that WWE Stadium show shit that they do.
Yeah, like when Shane blew his fucking quad in front of everybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think they're gonna do that type of thing.
All right, let's do this. All right. Next super chat. Chi-Town Spurs $5. Will the CM Punk Drew four corner strap match be better than Cody and QT Marshall's?
Yes, it will be better than Cody and QT Marshall. I expressed private concern, not because I expected, but because you never listen with any kind of match, especially in WWE, you never know. There's always a fear that they'll WWE it up and just you know what I mean. So I did kind of express like, hey man, like this is gonna be serious, right? And they're like, look, who knows if they're full of shit, but they were like, yeah, man, this is gonna be a serious match. They're gonna whip each other. They're gonna yank each other in the corners and posts and things of that nature. They're gonna beat the crap out of each other. They're gonna choke each other with the whip, and ultimately they're gonna do submissions, finishers, and then ultimately one guy's gonna get incapacitated and the other guy just hits all four corners and wins. So Bruno Sammartino style. Bruno style, I mean like the way Bruno would beat up a guy in a cage and walk out.
Yeah, no.
So look, man, will this be better than that? I think it'll be better than QT's because QT and Cody's match is average. And if nothing else, these guys are so over that in Berlin, there's gonna be so much heat. And because the premise is so simple, it actually is hard to fuck up the body of a strap match. Like the finish might be a little janky and stupid. Like we'll see what they come up with, but like the actual body of the match is literally just gonna be the crowd cheering loudly and them whipping each other. And so if Drew's just whipping Punk and Punk's selling, and then Punk gets the upper hand and he starts hitting Drew with the fucking like that little buckle part of the whip, and he starts whipping Drew back, and the fans like, yeah, get him, Punk, get him. Like that's not a hard. It's not a hard match to pull through on if that makes any sense. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like the formula is simple. Punk sells, the crowd feels sympathetic for him. They're egging him on, they're willing him on. Drew McIntyre is. Am I back? Hello?
No, you're good.
Yeah. Drew McIntyre has the upper hand. Punk does something to get to change the tide, and then he whips Drew, and then he chokes him, and then he does the anaconda vice and all that stuff, and the fans are happy to see it, and then you go home with the finishers. So I think the majority of this match will be very fun. How will the finish go? We shall see. But ultimately, because I know a lot of people, especially people who aren't like used to the four corner stipulation in general, they're kind of like, oh man, like what the hell is this? Like it's kind of silly. And it is inherently a little silly. It's an 80s thing that they used to do just to avoid people taking pinfalls, right? But there is a hard way to do it, and the hard way is to just beat up a guy, he's dead, and then you go, yeah, and you just kind of take your little victory lap where you just hit all four corners and walk off like a beast. So we'll see how they go with this. I think Punk is gonna win.
I think one of the best finishes to one of these matches, like, was when it was Eddie and JBL, and
they did a four corners strap match.
Yeah, they did it at it wasn't strap, but it was what was it? I think it was
bull rope, right?
Yep, Texas bull rope at Bash, and Eddie jumped for it, and he jumped over JBL, but what he didn't realize was JBL's back hit the fourth buckle first.
Oh, wait, that wasn't a botch, right? That was like on purpose.
Yeah, it was on purpose. And then Teddy was like, well, I'm sorry, Eddie, but the new WWE champion is JBL. It was pretty beast.
Is that how Eddie lost the match?
Yeah, that's how he lost the belt.
I mean, he lost the belt. Wow. You know what's funny? I watched all these shows in real time, like all the TV, and so many of these pay-per-view matches I never saw because I was telling you this off air. Like my parents didn't buy me pay-per-view, so I was in a situation where I knew what happened via WWE.com, and so I never
broke that ass.
Yeah, I didn't get to see a lot of this.
I didn't start watching the pay-per-views I'm not gonna say illegally, but I didn't start watching the pay-per-views actually till like 2011. So I was seeing the same shit, bro. I would wake up the next day and then watch the beginning of the Raw preview to see what happened.
You know, it's the first ever illegal stream I ever watched. It
What?
was WrestleMania 26 in 2010 in Arizona, and my stream was super janky and really bad. But that was the
Yeah.
first time. That was the first time I got to like watch an illegal live stream of a WWE pay per
I
view.
remember I watched 27 on pay-per-view, but then I started doing the bootleg thing around like Survivor Series and Hell in a Cell and all that shit. I was
Yep,
like, I'm
yep,
not doing
yep,
that, bro. Thank you for the
yep.
super chat. This is the sword. This sword is the proof that I have lived. 4.99. What would be the wrestling world today if Vince died in 2015? Let's say early January.
Um, AEW wouldn't exist.
Yes, AEW would not exist
AEW
at
wouldn't
all.
exist.
All of your favorite wrestlers outside of it in AEW right now would probably be 3 or 4 time NXT champions of some sort. Um, they would probably a couple of Kenny would probably be like a 5 time WWE champion right now.
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
yeah. So you kind of have an idea there. Thank you for the super chat. Mox would be retired. He should retire. Thank you for the super chat.
Wait. Wait. He said Mox would be retired.
Yeah.
Nah. Dean Ambrose. No, Dean Ambrose would have never left.
Mox would have been like, "Yo, can I bleed now?"
The thing is, part of it, what was happening was by 2018, he was like, man, WWE just like really sucks. And he wasn't in that mode in like 2015, 16. He was still like trying to be a good employee, trying to do his best. And had the creative stayed steady and he just stayed like a decent, like he absolutely would not have reached the peaks that John Moxley peaked at like in 2021, 2022, 2020. He would not have been that Mox, but he would have been content doing decent wrestling. So I think he'd probably still be around.
Probably. Let's go to the next super chat. Thank you, Honest to Sultan, $2. I wish I had 1/10 of the power that Io has, bro. It's in yo. She's
She's a
so over,
monster.
bro.
She is a monster, bro.
Bro, it's kind of crazy how like, bro, especially the part of the match last night. We'll get into it when she just stopped and then she started rallying up the crowd and like the
Bro,
entire arena was going crazy, bro.
it's kind of eye opening just how ready the fans were to cheer her in general. Like we kind of had a feeling, and remember that run in the Queen of the Ring, she was doing well and she was getting cheered. But bro, these fans were so ready to just like get into her, and like when WWE actually like officially just lets her, because right now she's kind of doing tag division stuff. When she's ready to do like singles division stuff again, they're gonna unleash a monster, bro. Like, and it's kind of crazy too, because it's like on SmackDown, there's an embarrassment of riches when it comes to baby faces, because it's like LA Knight, Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, over as fuck, right? You look on Raw now, when it comes to the women, you have a similar situation. Rhea Ripley is so freaking over. And then
Right.
you look around and Io Sky is getting similar reactions in tag matches with like shitters. So yeah, they have a demon on their hands, and I want to see Rhea and Io wrestle each other.
And even bro, they've been teasing that match for now, too.
Yeah,
So
I
that's
wonder
gonna
when
be
they're gonna do it. I wonder when they're gonna do it.
all right. Jonathan Gomez, $2. Haven't watched Raw in a minute. Is Jay still over?
Rob, your like connection sounds like it's like kind of fucking croaking and dying on me. But Jonathan Gomez, $2. Haven't watched Raw in a minute. Is Jay still over? Yeah, he's always gonna be over as fuck. He's not doing as much lately, but like he comes on and they say yeet, they get super into it. It's nothing super new there when it comes to that. So yeah, he's still very over.
Yo, can you hear me? Am I good now?
Yeah, you're fine.
All right.
You sound like you're speaking to it through it too, but we'll get through it. We'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll be all right. We'll be all right.
Mm.
Jacob Donnelly. They're gonna need someone to piss off Punk backstage if it means he can stop the pandering act immediately. The Taylor Swift for men line was too much.
You know what I'll say? Normally, I agree with this type of thing because, like, for me, you know what I noticed? The worse CM Punk's mental health is in real life, and the more angry he is in real life, the better his promos are. Because when he hates everybody, he just like is very bitter, and like it leads to compelling TV, right? Like when he's cranky. The only time he was cranky in WWE, and I won't get into why, but that famous Chicago segment with him, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre, he was not in a good mood, and it led to an awesome promo, right? Now he's really happy, and when he's happy, you get the Punk that he got last night, where he's just kind of sharing and spreading the love. And so I get what you're saying, Jacob, but at the same time, I will say this. I didn't love the whole Punk segment last night, but I did like his promo before Drew McIntyre came out. Because to me, it was a little long, but to me, I like the idea of him taking real life fan experiences and all that type of stuff and just using it in promo material. Like the Fanatics Fest experience over the weekend was so striking for him that he was like, I got to talk about this on TV. I got to talk about these fans flying from these different locations just to see me, just to take a picture with me, just to give me a gift. And I get it if it's not for everybody because it is very like hokey and patting you on the back and pandering and thumbs up and Mick Foley, but at the same time, I don't know. I was a fan of it. I was a fan of it personally, but I
Yeah,
did
no,
not
it was
like. Go ahead.
I thought the part where he was talking about the Fanatics Fest was good because
Yeah.
it kind of, and I liked how it kind of led into the bracelet conversation. Even though I
Right.
kind of don't like the conversation still about the bracelet, I like how he kind of tied it together. He kind of explained it was like, yo, all this shit is a way for me to like bond with fans, and he was
Right.
like, yeah, all these fans came to see me. He's like, so that's why when it's just like a 10-cent bracelet to y'all, it means so much to me type shit. So I
Yeah,
get it.
because to him it's because first it was like, oh, it's him in the white, but now he's also saying no, the bracelet's also like my connection to the fans, and you're never gonna break that because people are gonna fly out from all these locations just to see me and to give me one, and so it's deeper than that. Which I get that, and then I like that I get the mental framework from the narrative because what he's trying to tie is that I got a bracelet for you and it's this, and the bracelet is the whip, it's the strap. Pause. So yeah, I get it from that standpoint. I also get it though if you're like enough of this pandering Punk. If you remember, Rob, his AEW run started the exact same way, where he was just kind of happy to be there and happy to be with the fans. And after a couple months, people were like, "All right, can we move on to the next phase?" And the next phase ended up being the MJF feud. So
Yeah, he was like fucking wrestling Lee Moriarty and QT Marshall and shit, and niggas he was
yeah,
like, "Yo, we do not care about this, bro. Tell a story."
he didn't have a long-term storyline for the first like 4 months of his AEW run, basically. So yeah.
All right, thank you for the super chat. Um, Legend Rider, let me see, $2. What do you think is Woods' ceiling if they split?
Uh, I think he'll just be a mid Carter, but I got to be honest. I think this isn't the end of the New Day thing, but for whatever reason, maybe this is just naivety on my part. I don't think he's straight up gonna leave them. I think like something else is gonna happen in the storyline. I don't think he leaves.
That's the thing, and I'm just like because it's kind of I like that we're gonna get into it obviously, but I like that they kind of had the conversation before it was time to go out there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
yeah, thank you for the super chat. Matt Hennessy, 59 euros. The IC title tournament excites me. I hope they can showcase Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Chad Gable, Ilya Dragunov, Pete Dunne, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser. While the tournament is exciting, I get the feeling Jey Uso will win the tournament.
Maybe I shouldn't be this confident because Jey Uso has broken my heart at the buzzer before, but I don't think he's gonna win. I really don't. I really don't think he's gonna win. Maybe I'm gonna be Boo Boo the Fool at the end of this when Jey Uso sticks a dagger at the buzzer and he beats all my favorites.
Mm,
Let's count all the names Matt just said. Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Chad Gable. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right. How many of these people are probably going to actually be in the tournament? Let's see here. I think Sheamus, Dragonov are locks. Kaiser's a probably. Pete Dunne's a probably. Gable, I'm not sure because it depends on this howdy thing. Dragon Lee, I think this will absolutely be the vehicle to reintroduce him to TV. I do think that's what's going to happen here. I think I was told by people, and I'll give this away now. This isn't all the news. I have like little, like, I don't have any big stories for you guys today, but I have little news tidbits that you'll get over the course of just this podcast. So if you like hearing things like that and backstage insight, you'll get it here. But I basically was told what's probably should be obvious, which is that this tournament will be a vehicle to heat up the mid card. This tournament is going to be used to essentially reintroduce some of the underutilized workhorses on the show. And so Hunter likes doing tournaments because it helps structure his TV better. And I mean, Rob, we've seen it. Like the tournament-oriented Triple H TVs are like the best ones he does. So
definitely. Like the King of the Ring was
those Raws were really
he's
good.
put on.
Exactly. So this tournament is going to be used to do a similar thing while also kind of like reintroducing into the fold people like a Dragon Lee and an Ilya Dragunov. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I don't know if every single this is not Matt. This list is perfect. I'd love this bracket, right? I don't think that's what we're gonna get though. I think I feel like he'll slip in like one or two people that we're not really trying to see. I could also see Xavier Woods being in it because I feel like he's always in these types of things. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah.
They said that Corey from PWN said that Dragon Lee is off TV for personal time. I did see his
that's people are misquoting Corey, bro. What
like they're saying they're saying that, but I don't think he said that. Like I read it.
Corey answered people who were like, "Why was he gone?" And he was saying he was gone for personal reasons. So that's what that was. Lee was at TV last week though, and I'm not sure if he was on TV this week, but he was on TV. He was at TV last week.
I can't even get my nigga a main event.
He was on main event.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, he worked.
Thank you for the super chat. Uganda Chanko 35 Czar. Think Braun gets involved in the bloodlines. Sammy and Jey Uso plus.
Rob, your sound is dying on me. I don't know what's going on.
My sound is cooked.
You're kind of like, you know what it probably is? It's probably the voice isolation shit, bro. That's probably what it is.
Yeah, you got to just look at that. But some guy
I think I fixed it.
Okay, go ahead.
Plus a Heyman unconventional pitch involving Roman, Braun, and Jacob Fatu and War Games is nuts.
I don't think Braun Breaker gets involved. We'll see though. You know what I have noticed, Rob? He's subtly turning babyface.
Yes.
He's subtly turning babyface.
Especially when I noticed how he was doing his promo last night and he kind of stopped to be like, "Yeah, it's not my fault. I got all the dogs."
Yeah.
It's not my fault. I got all the dogs in every arena barking, and all of a sudden he started. Ooh.
You know what I think is gonna happen, bro? I can't lie. So you know how Bronson Reed's just running through people and bullying people, right?
Yeah.
I think that's going to continue. I think he's going to beat Braun Strowman. And I don't know when when that match happens, but you know what? I wouldn't let Seth get the Bronson Reed rub. You know what? I'm going to boldly say I think Seth should lose to Bronson Reed. And the reason I say this is because you know what I want? Because Braun is starting to turn into this ace figure on Raw. He's turning into this kind of like, bro, like this is my house, this is my yard, I run this shit. I'm the young ace of this place, right? So what I would do, Rob, is Bronson Reed continues to run amok until he's like, I want competition. I want a championship. I want. And Braun Breaker walks out and he's like, hold the fuck up, bro. You've been running through all these people. You've been running through my house and my yard and this and that. But brother, you're not the baddest guy here. It's fucking me. All right. If you want to name names and take on somebody, name me because you're beating up on this guy. You're beating up on that guy. How about you fucking take me out? And you finally build the super match. And the reason why the idea of this match excites me, Rob, is because both of these guys have extremely protected finishers. And so I was talking to my brother, and we were power scaling and shit. Because I was like, yo, nobody kicks out of the tsunami, right? And people don't kick out of the spear. What imagine the build for that. Imagine the sports build where you're getting these fucking sports style vignettes with statistics and shit of Braun and Bronson Reed and who's better than who. And imagine a situation where Bronson on pay-per-view lands the tsunami and you're like, holy fuck, he landed the tsunami on Braun Breaker. It's over. Braun Breaker kicks out of the tsunami. He is the first man to do it. You're like, what the fuck? Braun Breaker gets him up for a German suplex. What the fuck? Braun Breaker gets him up for the Gorilla Press Slam, Power Slam. Boom, 1, 2, he kicks out. Braun Breaker gets him on the spear. And Bronson Reed kicks out of a spear. And you're like, whoa, these are two fucking titans. It's Godzilla. It's King Kong. What's going to give? What's going to give here? Braun Breaker is the baddest man on Monday Night Raw. But Bronson Reed is like fucking a demon. But ultimately, Braun Breaker and just an absolute savage, just a clash of titans. He ultimately is the guy that gets the win. And Bronson Reed is no worse for it because he had run through so many people to get to this match. It's very Heyman-pilled. It's Heyman booking. It's what I want to see, to be honest.
That's bro. Yeah, imagine if they were like on SmackDown and Heyman had control, bro. They'd be the top stars. They'd be the guys on top, bro. But Jesus,
This is wrestling. This is how you build big matches, man. You on one end of the show, you have a guy that's just running through guys and looking strong, and you protect him and you protect his finish. The other end of the show, you do the same with another guy until they finally meet and it's face to face. And by the time it's face to face, it feels like holy fuck, something's got to give here. And when it does give, it's really exciting.
bro, you know what, I would fucking have if Braun didn't spend like the last 3 or 4 weeks out with injury. I'd have them redo the fucking Mark Henry Big Show spot with the Hall of Pain. And not him doing the Vader bomb. Him hitting a tsunami on his leg in a chair. That would be fucking beast. That would be fucking beast.
That'd be gas. You know what I need, Rob? I need the first match to be on TV and for the ring to break.
Yo, imagine they just get the main event and they just do that.
Let's bring back breaking the ring for Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker.
Let's fucking go. Thank you for the super chats from Gonda Chanko. Let's see the next super chat. Daniel, no, not Daniel. I don't know why I read Daniel. Damian Manuel Michael, $2. Omas to Noah Muda sees the vision. Yo, if this was 2002.
Rob, did you see what Keiji Muto said?
No, I didn't see this.
They asked him, what WWE guy do you want coming in no one? He was like, Omos.
You know why I believe that? And you know why I believe him? Because when nobody else wanted to deal with Bob Sapp in 2000 and in the 2000s, you know who dealt with Bob Sapp?
Keiji Muto, nigga.
Keiji Muto said, "Yo, fuck that New Japan shit. You want to come to Wrestle One? Nigga,
Bro,
I'll make you the top star, brother."
Bro, he has the greatest Bob Sapp match of all time.
Bro, it's crazy, bro. That spot when I think he spits the mist and he just no sells it. He just does it. Bro, what in the fuck did he do? He just no sold it and just power bombed him anyway.
That match was amazing. Honestly, anybody listening, just look up Great Muta versus Bob Sapp and watch that shit. It's like 6-7 minutes too.
It's so gas. Thank you for the super chat, Will Chisholm. $5. I got a feeling Ray going to put who? Oh, wait, no. Who?
They.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got a feeling they going to put Bayley back with babyface Damage Control down the line. Probably.
I mean, it's always an option if they want to just do something. So maybe.
Probably because
I'm looking forward to Asuka's return.
Excuse me. Sorry. No, definitely. I hope Asuka gets a bigger role within Damage Control when she comes back as well. Thank you for the super chat. Jack, €5. I am actually afraid for American promotion rosters in 10 years. The indies are super duper giga dead. Who's left other than Mike Bailey? Yeah, bro. Who really is left other than Mike Bailey and ex-Fed guys? And Mike Santana. And bro, like, it's Amazing Red is running House of Glory. Which the House of Glory is actually a good indie when they have good matches. They have Revolver, but Revolver has most of the. That's the thing, bro. All these guys that are all over the indies are just mostly GCW guys. So it's half of it is just ass.
It's over, Rob. It's over.
Bro, it's cooked.
Your,
It's literally cooked.
your best hope genuinely is the PC recruits great athletes from college, and then you then send these great athletes over to other places before they fully just become WWE build, like Tavion Heights. You literally have to just hope for more Tavion Heights situations.
Bro, dead ass, and that's the thing. It's just like you. Who else? Because who else can you? WWE's talking about doing this whole independent development shit or whatever the fuck they're calling that stupid shit. And it's like, all right, that's cool and everything. Like doing it 5, 6 years ago was cool and everything. When you still had all the guys on, when you still had Keith Lee's and Darby Allin's on the Indies in 2018 and Evolve, but Evolve doesn't exist anymore, and those niggas are in AEW. So you gotta send them to Japan. That's your only route left. So, but I think that's all the super chats we have left for right now, guys. If please remember, please like, subscribe, super chat.
I think we
Also,
have more.
At
At least I see one more in the live chat. Yeah, there we go.
There's one more before we start the review. Night 122. Seth and Bronson should low key be on Bad Blood.
I think it will, and I think it should.
What's the like the level of, I guess I'll say the level of injury with Rollins? Like, is he just like banged up, or is it like some serious shit that he's taking time off for?
He's allegedly medically cleared, but he is just in pain.
Yeah.
Pain with his knees, pain with his back. That to me is frightening. If you got knee surgery and your knee just still hurts, that sounds like those NBA players that are like nearing retirement, where it's like you got to shut it down, bro. Like some Lonzo Ball type shit, or like Derrick Rose or Brandon Roy.
He's fairly young, right?
Who, Seth?
I don't even think he's hit 40 yet, right?
He's 37.
Yeah, bro. Fucking fried knees before 37, but I mean before 40 is. Like,
yeah. So I think this will continue where Seth just kind of like chooses his matches wisely and is very selective of when he does wrestle.
Thank you for the super chat. Also, now, guys, please remember, like I said before, like, subscribe, super chat. You see in the corner of the screen. If you are watching this back, leave a comment. But Ibu, answer this question for me. Where was Monday Night Raw last night?
Where was Monday Night Raw last night? Well, Raw was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in the FLA Live Arena. So last night's Raw, we got a recap, and we saw CM Punk, Alba Fire, Isla Dawn, the Pure Fusion Collective, Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley arriving. Everybody's well dressed. Everybody's getting pops, being shown walking in the arena, except Alba and Isla. But we see everybody coming in. The show opens up with Randy Orton's theme song. So Randy Orton comes out to a big reaction. The crowd is singing voices. It's all happy and shit. Michael Cole was talking about how close Randy is to a historic 15th world title reign. Randy Orton welcomed us to Monday Night Raw, and he said he would be a 15-time champion the next time he does that introduction. He's saying this because Randy will not be on Raw next week, guys. He will be on a house show. So no Randy on Raw. So again, the next time you see him is after Bash at Berlin, and he's saying that he's going to be the champion when that happens.
Really? I thought he wasn't doing the house shows anymore.
He generally doesn't, but I think he's doing this one next week. Yeah, all I know is that he's not on next week's Raw. So that's the deal with that. Randy said that Gunther made things personal, which just gave him more of a reason to beat him up in Berlin. Gunther spoke about his father and his grandfather before turning his back, and so, of course, I had to drop him with an RKO. Crowd is popping. The crowd was super into this. They're just like very into Randy in general. Like Randy was just literally just existing and talking, and they're chanting Randy and RKO and shit like that. They were so into Randy Orton. Gunther interrupted this promo, and he received a lot of heat. Gunther was getting Dominic heat here, Rob. Like he's walking out, and just because he's he's getting opposition to Randy, like he's opposition to Randy Orton, like the fans are just booing him crazy, and they were like,
"Yo, him getting this much, he was so gas."
Oh, it's amazing because he was good with it too. Like he was berating the crowd and shit, and calling them trailer park trash and shit like that. So, yeah, man, they were grilling Gunther. He said that Orton could go ahead and celebrate hitting an RKO last week because that was the only celebrating he would do. The crowd chanted USA, and Gunther mocked them for only having 3 brain cells. He told Randy Orton that he could never hit him with an RKO ever again. And he told him, I'm going to leave you a bloody mess in Berlin and expose you as a very successful yet underachieving one-trick pony. Gunther, all I have to say about that, sir, is do not promise me blood if you're not going to deliver. I don't need blood in this match, but if you put that in my brain, that very much excites me. So don't do that, Gunther. Don't do that. He's telling Randy Orton he's gonna leave him bloody. So there you go. Hold on. What is this? Yeah, so Gunther did really well with the heel heat. Randy Orton warned Gunther that he'd be on an 8-hour flight to Berlin with a boot up his ass, a size 15 double extra wide boot. Crowd got super into that. And you know what realization hit me here, Rob? WWF is like Attitude Era hot, and you know how you know that? They're at that level of hot where a babyface's comeback could be literally anything, and the crowd is just gonna pop for it. Like Randy Orton is kind of like, yeah, well, I'm gonna put my foot up your ass, and the crowd's like, yeah, let's fucking go, Randy.
Bro, if Carlito was in a tag match and he did his little shitty clothesline spinebuster spot, it would have been like the hottest hot tag all year.
It reminded me of, there's a moment in SummerSlam 99 where Chris Jericho's cutting a promo and Road Dogg interrupts him, and Jericho's the heel, right? And I forgot what Jericho said, but he basically was like, I'm going to save WWF and this boring product with the gift of Jericho, whatever the hell he said, right? And Road Dogg was just kind of like, yeah, well, you're a bitch. And the crowd's like, yeah. He cooked him. He fucking cooked him. And it's like, he just said he's a bitch. But very similar here. Like, Gunther's just like, like, Randy, you're overrated. You're underachiever. Americans are stupid. I'm the champion. I'm going to show you guys ring excellence. And Randy's just like, I'm going to put my foot up your ass. And the crowd's like, yeah, get him, Randy. But so
Randy just goes, and you stink. Yeah!
Cook. Gunther invited Randy to fight, but it was a trap. Ludwig Kaiser tried to attack Orton from behind. Orton fought him off. Orton also fought off Gunther momentarily, but Kaiser chop blocked him, and Gunther dropped him with a clothesline, and Imperium stood tall. Later for the night, we have set up Ludwig Kaiser and Randy Orton. And yeah, man, that's good stuff. Ludwig Kaiser's been doing great, and he's the type of wrestler that could make good music with Randy Orton, which he did. And we'll talk about that one later. That one's for Joe Holbert, but yeah, what did you think of this segment? I thought it was just good stuff. It's very interesting how hot this Gunther Randy dynamic is to me, Rob. Like, this is really, their dynamic is clicking with the live crowds. Every time they've been face to face, like, the fans are super into it. Gunther's the perfect opposition for Randy Orton, who at this point in time is he's just a veteran babyface who's there to, kick ass and come home to his hot wife and his 5 kids. It almost feels like Randy Orton was built to be this type of wrestler, just an old man that has kids. But
like it was kind of like, you kind of always knew was guy like this was gonna be his destiny, basically. And I kind of like this feud because they're not really reiterating the same shit over and over. Like last week, Gunther called him, his grandfather, and his dad, right, a screw up, right? And then, but this week he goes a completely different route with it. And he's just like, yeah, you had to sneak up on me last week because you knew if you tried to do it to my face, it just wouldn't happen. I'm really excited for this match in Berlin because the last one was so good, and then the match that Orton just had with Kaiser last night. It's kind of crazy how Randy. We always talk about this. Randy's like just still evolving at the age of damn near 50 years old.
You know what it is really to me? It's that he's always been a technically great wrestler from a mechanics standpoint, but he's so over now. He has that kind of legend reverence from the fans. Like the fans, the current generation of WWE fans in the live crowd, they're the people that grew up with John Cena and Randy Orton. So he's getting the legend reactions the way Sting would get in AEW, right? And so now Randy Orton knows how to utilize that crowd reaction. And he very smartly structures his matches. He just has to sell and then do his comeback. Literally, sell, punch, kick, sell. You go to the outside, you do the backdrop on the announce table, you get the people into it. And then when it's time, you do the draping DDT, you do the scoop slam, you give him a nice little superplex, you get the RKO. And the way he's able to position these key things in the matches is the actual brilliance of his current work. Because he's not doing that much, but he's picking the right points in the match to do it. not that I'm comparing him to this wrestler, but it's very similar to what like a Hiroshi Tanahashi would do when he got a little older, but he was still great. It's very similar to what Keiji Muto would do in the 2000s. Keiji Muto, he's the guy that generally would just sell or like just kind of fuck around. But then when it was time to get into high gear, you get the track.
But when I seen him throw that Shining Wizard though.
Well, the thing about Muto is he'll have these 30-minute matches, and like when you really think about it, nothing happened in the first 10 minutes, but he's biding his time. And then when it's time to hit the dragon screws, you get the dragon screws, you get the flashing elbow, you get the space rolling elbow, and then
when the space rolling elbows, it's like with Randy, when the spike DDT's coming, when the stomps are coming, when the power slam's coming. So
100%. And so that's the brilliance of being a good worker in the literal sense of worker. And Randy Orton right now is a very good worker. He's had a great year. I said this yesterday, Rob. I think this is the best he's ever been in general. So, because what it is he's utilizing the tools he's always had to the best effect possible. So, yeah, I thought this was a good segment.
Definitely.
Jackie Redmond interviewed Sheamus, whose left hand was taped up thanks to Pete Dunne. Sheamus said he would get retribution over Sneaky Pete. He was pumped up and asked Fort Lauderdale if they're ready for a banger. The announcers plugged NXT a bunch during the segment. Michael Cole mentioned that Sheamus beat Daniel Bryan in 18 seconds at WrestleMania at the nearby Sun Life Stadium. So that was interesting.
That was very, very interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah. Cole was basically like that guy main eventing AEW this weekend.
Yeah.
Sheamus squashed.
What a loser.
Like, all right. So Sheamus and Pete Dunne, Rob, this is a 2-segment match, but it got a good amount of time. And first time matchup here, and this is very physical. It's just two guys scrapping. Sheamus really just gets in these like knockdown, drag out brawls on TV, and he's starting to compile a collection of these, Rob. Just these like 3.5 to 3 3/4 scrappy, physical, really heated, very emotional matches where Sheamus is just kind of fighting with all his heart and all his passion, and he bruises his chest up and he's all sweaty. He has boogers in his nose. He's drooling and chopping and beating dudes.
Bro, you can see like the escalation of these matches week by week because all you see is a bunch of bruises all over his fucking face every week.
It's crazy. Like Sheamus hasn't wrestled on pay-per-view since coming back, but he's definitely not treating it like, oh, this is a TV match, whatever. Sorry, there's like motorcycles riding by me. I don't know if you heard that, but he's treating this just like he goes out there ready to die every week, basically. Like that's his mentality, and it's resulted in like amazing TV consistency. He has to be considered for like one of the 5 best TV wrestlers this year, because like other than like maybe a Darby Allin, like I don't know who else is just going out there in these 12-minute matches and is just kind of like producing this level of consistent quality. So. Yeah, this is great. Like he's just fighting with Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne's kicking him and hitting him. There's the spot where Pete Dunne is grabbing him by the wrist, Rob, and Pete Dunne's repeatedly punching him and chopping him on the neck. And Sheamus is like, "Come on, is that all you got? Are you butcher? Are you bitch?" And he's like yelling at him and shit. And he's firing back and he's getting into it. And yeah, man, like I said, back and forth action here. A lot of great spots. Sheamus wanted to hit him with a white noise up the top. Pete Dunne reversed it and turned it into a Liger bomb. Sheamus at one point, I forgot what Sheamus hit him. Sheamus said it went. Pete Dunne went for a second rope moonsault onto Sheamus, and Sheamus countered it with a knee right to the fucking gut. I think it was supposed to be to the face, but it hit him like right in the gut. And that was
bro, he caught him, bro.
Caught him. And it looked like that was going to be the finish there. 1, 2, he kicks out. The crowd is going crazy. This is awesome chance, all that shit. They're just beating the shit out of each other. There was a 10 beats to the Bowdrin on the apron. Actually, Pete Dunne hit him with it first and thought he had him. Sheamus slipped right behind him, got him back with it. He then pulls him over the rope, and he's like hanging from the rope, draping over into the ring. And Sheamus gets him another 10 beats, so it was 20 beats. This was just a good time. Like the bottom line with Sheamus is he's just the guy now on Raw that works all these younger punks who think they can knock him off. Ludwig Kaiser, Pete Dunne, and ultimately Sheamus still has his fastball. He still is able to have one left in the chamber to take out these kids. And he ultimately beats Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne, the finish was so cool because he put the taped up hand into the turnbuckle. And so Sheamus' hand is stuck in the turnbuckle. And then Pete Dunne repeatedly kicks it like da, 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 and he's hitting him with his hand. And so he thinks he's got it. He walks away to kind of run so that he could run back and hit him again. And while he has his back turned, Sheamus just on some incredible Hulk shit, frees his hand by just yanking it off the turnbuckle, just frees his hand like it's like a guy who's handcuffed to a wall or something. And he breaks it off and then just bro kicks him and wins. So this was a hell of a TV match here. Really fun, and Sheamus gets to win. What did you think?
I really enjoyed this match. I know people are really down on like the limb work and shit of Pete Dunne. I really, but it pops me, bro. And I like the fact that it's starting to pop the crowds too. Like when it looked like he was really breaking Sheamus's fingers, like you could hear the crowd go, oh, oh, like getting disgusted and shit. So that was cool. But Dunn, bro, that ending spot was really fucking good. When he had his hand in the turnbuckle, and I don't know if you saw it, but Pete actually goes into the other corner and he like starts taunting. He starts being like, "Hey man, that's what I do. That's what I do. Y'all know what I do." And he turned around and caught the bro kick. That was nice. But I like the fact that it wasn't just like a grapple fest. It was two guys going out there beating the shit out of each other to prove who's better.
Yep.
And so that's what it should be. That's what Sheamus should be doing, bro. And it looks like Sheamus is genuinely enjoying what he's doing right now. So that's another good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I just really his presence on these shows, having these matches, is very needed and important. So I'm glad he continues to do it. All right. So next thing on Raw. Let's see here. It was the New Day segment. I actually like this. So Odyssey Jones was warming up with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. Jones left, and Kingston spoke with Woods. And Kingston was basically like, "Yo, bro, like, what's going on? Like, your energy's just been kind of weird lately, man." And Woods, and he's like, "Is it because of Karrion Kross?" And Woods like, "Nah, Karrion Kross isn't the issue. We know what Kross is. You basically, Kross is trying to break us up. Kross is trying to drive a wedge between us. I'm aware of that. We've dealt with that type of thing. Like, there's no issue with Kross." He said, "I just kind of wish you spoke to me about bringing Odyssey Jones in." He said, "I just kind of wish you let me know about it, because I get this feeling that you're just trying to replace Big E, and I don't really like that." And Kingston was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry I didn't talk to you first, man. I'm sorry, but man, we would never replace E. Like, we would never do that." And he recalled. Kingston recalled what it was like when they first started the New Day and how everybody made fun of them. He was talking about how 10 years ago in the locker room, like, everybody thought this wasn't going to work and they were berating them and shit. And he said it was hard, but we got through it because we had each other and we became one of the greatest teams ever. And he said, "Look, man, we're family. That's never going to change." And ultimately, Odyssey Jones is new guy. He's in the same boat as we were back then. And so Kingston said, "I want to help Odyssey Jones the same way he wished people had helped him 10 years ago." And then Woods was like, "No, you're right, man. You're right." He said, "I'm the problem. I'll fix it." And so Jones re-enters the scene and he gives Xavier Woods a big hug, and Woods kind of forces out a fake smile. I thought this was a very good backstage segment that kind of like furthered the stuff with the New Day.
Yeah, no, this story with the New Day is really interesting, but we'll get into it like kind of more when we get into the tag match.
Sure. We got Fanatics Fest clips with WWE and the celebrities and all that stuff that happened over the weekend in New York City. We got a music video for Braun Breaker, which was very ECW hardcore TV build. We then saw Chad Gable and American Made officially welcome Ivy Nile into the team, and he said that he would change her life, and and Nile said that she tried to warn Maxine Dupree that she was done letting Dupree hold her back. Gable said that they would focus on the Wyatt Sicks and send them back to whatever swamp they crawled out of. Maxine Dupree versus Ivy Nile. This match never really officially started. Maxine Dupree took the fight to Ivy on the outside, and then she actually hit a very nice perfect plex onto the floor. So that was cool. They get back into the ring. American Made enters. The lights turn off, and then the Wyatt music starts. American Made enters the ring to protect Ivy Nile. Nikki Cross attacks Nile while the male Wyatt members attack American Made. The Wyatts surround Chad Gable, who ate a sister Abigail by Uncle Howdy. And this is followed up. I'll just get to it now. Chad Gable will be facing Uncle Howdy next week on Raw. And regarding this match, I actually have nothing to say about the match or the angle. My actual opinion is about Gable and Howdy. And what I was going to say is that the first Wyatt tag match with American Made overachieved because they took the masks off. They were acknowledged as who they really are. And they had a good match, right? And the crowd was super into it. And now the next step is, okay, can Uncle Howdy continue the trend? And Chad Gable, we all know, is an excellent wrestler. Bo Dallas has not been active in 4 years. So can Bo Dallas be good enough? Because this gimmick is over. So he just has to be good enough, right? And the question is, can he be good enough to have a good match with Chad Gable? Chances are, given that situation, yes, because the crowd wants to cheer this, and Gable's great. But you still have to see it. So we'll see how that goes. What I would like to see, Rob, personally, I want the match to go to a DQ because I don't want Chad to take another loss. And I think what you do is you go to a DQ, and the next match you build is a group plunder match, some type of group multi-person like no DQ shit or whatever. And where you do that match, the thing is they don't have another pay-per-view until early October. So it's like if you want to pad it out, then you'd have to go all the way over to Bad Blood. I don't know if I do that. Maybe I just do it on Raw, but nevertheless, my point is this is what I do. I give them 12, 13 minutes to wrestle, try to have as good of a match as possible. You go to a no contest, everybody's fighting, everybody's brawling, there's destruction, there's chaos, and then you get the big plunder match. And then you go from there. But regarding the angle, I don't have much to say. What do you think about the match with Howdy and Chad Gable, Rob?
The match between it could go to a DQ. I want Gable to win, but at the same time, it'll kind of like defeat the purpose. It was kind of like with Bray, how people was always like, man, he says so much, but he always loses, you know. So I kind of, it's like I want him to lose, but at the same time, I know he really can't lose. And I totally agree with the idea. I think this should all lead to a big plunder match. Now, I think American Made should win that match, but then again, it's also like how do you have the Wyatt Six lose? You know, unless you bring in somebody or like you have an interference. You know what I mean? How do you have them lose?
Yeah, it's interesting. Tough. They just feel like the type of group where like you don't pin them, you have to like knock them out or something. So that's why a
Yeah.
stipulation might be needed. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I do think American Made needs to win somewhere in this program to in the middle at least. And so yeah, I would have Chad and like I said, Chad and Howdy no contest. The next match you do a big group match. Maybe you could find a way to creatively get American Made to win that. We'll see. And then you close it off with maybe another Gable Howdy match, and then that's the end of that.
Yeah.
And you know what? In that one, Chad's out in the match to help him lose. You could have it be that Otis is a deciding factor that fucks over Chad Gable to cost him the match. Howdy wins. He moves on. Chad is like, all right. And he tells his team, no, you know what? We're pivoting back. We got to kill this guy. We got to kill this fat motherfucker. And then that's how you get back to Chad and Otis. And they can close that out for the end of the year. And then Chad can focus on singles gold going into 2025. So that's kind of what I would do. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the Howdy business. Let us know what you guys think with the super chats and give us your opinions again on just all the other stuff that's happening on Monday Night Raw. CM Punk was shown walking through the back because he's up next. We got a taped promo by the Terror Twins, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. Pretty well produced video package. Rhea Ripley said, Priest said that Liv Morgan and Dominic would receive their punishment at Bash at Berlin. Rhea Ripley accused Liv Morgan of becoming a discount Rhea Ripley, and the Terror Twins would put them through the mat at Berlin. CM Punk said Punk came out with a leather strap on his shoulders, and he started his promo saying he knew what the hell? Sorry, I was reading the wrong thing. But yeah, no. So Punk basically just congratulates the Florida Panthers on winning the Stanley Cup. He mentioned seeing Roberto Luongo earlier, and the crowd was chanting, "Let's go Panthers." Punk brings up Fanatics Fest, which was the event he was at in New York on the weekend, and he said that someone over there asked him about the WWE's hot streak and that he and the company were on, and he said, "Look, it's all thanks to the fans." He said that a fan in a wheelchair told him with tears in their eyes that she just defeated cancer and that CM Punk was a source of strength for her. Punk thought about his own friends battling cancer. Punk said a fan from Taiwan flew 15 hours just to take a picture with him. Another fan from Jordan flew all the way over there to meet him too. And Punk said, look, this means something to me because I did miss you guys for 10 years. The crowd chants CM Punk, and he said Punk pulls out a handful of bracelets, and this is a real thing at Fanatics Fest. A bunch of different fangirls were giving him like replacement friendship bracelets, so he brought it to TV, and he wanted to show the crowd and show the audience. So he pulls it out, and he said that, look, I figured the bracelets were a Taylor Swift thing, but look, at the end of the day, I guess I'm Taylor Swift for men. He said the fans' bracelets looked like the bracelet Drew McIntyre took off of his lifeless body in Chicago. Punk said that McIntyre thought he could wash his hands of him after winning at SummerSlam, but McIntyre made it personal. He said that he's obsessed. He said that Drew's obsessed with him. He said he wore the bracelet with his beautiful wife's name on it. And Punk said, "I got a gift for you, a bracelet for you," and it was the big leather strap that we talked about earlier. Punk said, "Bash in Berlin, there would be a strap match as long as McIntyre was willing to agree to the match." He said that they would be tethered together and they would have to touch each turnbuckle to win. That's not why Punk wanted a strap match, though. He wanted it to whip that bitch. And he said he wanted to leave lasting scars so Drew McIntyre would never forget his name. McIntyre interrupts. He comes out. They're basically playing a weird game of cat and mouse at this point. He's saying like he agreed to the strap match. And he said, "Hey man, why don't we drop the strap?" Pause, and they give the fans a teaser right now. Punk said, "All right, let's do it." And then Punk said, "Actually, how about this? How about I give you this strap, you give me my bracelet back?" Drew was like, "No," and then Drew McIntyre calls Punk a liar. McIntyre said he knew that if he gave it to him, he'd still whip him. Punk didn't deny it. McIntyre said that April and Larry were safer at home with him. Punk warned him that he would not be safe at Berlin because it's not me who is attached to you. It's you that's attached to me. That's a reference to Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen. But even recapping it, I got kind of exhausted again because my thought in the segment, Rob, was I liked Punk's promo, even though it kind of went long. Once Drew came out and you're going back and forth, it just got very tedious to me. And I realized also that I'm kind of over them talking at each other. They don't have much new to say to each other.
And
Like,
you could tell at the end of the promo when Punk goes, he's like, it's not gonna be you. It's not gonna be me attached to you. It's gonna be you attached to me. And it seems like he kind of lags a bit at the end. Like he just didn't give a fuck about talking like about this anymore. And it's just like, and I was talking to Peach about this. It was just like, dude, it's starting to get real boring, and it just doesn't like the promos. I mean, not the matches, but it's starting to seem like they're just tired of talking at each other.
yeah, I just feel like when I feel magic from Punk and Drew on TV now, it's when they fight. Like whenever Punk runs out to fight him, like the crowd gets really into that and they get excited about it. But at this point, them talking at each other is not what the people are trying to see. And I noticed last night was a good crowd, and they got into a lot of stuff. Most of the stuff they got into was action. It was like big moves, cool, impressive moves, fighting, throwing hands, that type of shit. Um, the yapping, like we're past that point with Punk and Drew. We're trying to see them talk at each other for 10 minutes. So yeah, I just thought this went really long, and by the end of it, it was just kind of like I don't really feel like watching you guys talk at each other. We know the premise. We get it. We fucking get it.
Yeah,
the premise is, look, you guys hate each other. You know, Drew thinks Punk is a hypocrite and a liar. Punk is like Drew is a fucking hater, whatever the fuck, he's obsessed. You know, the bracelet and so on and so forth. We get it. Let's fucking fight. You know what I mean? So I want to see more fighting from them and less talking. The next segment after this, Robert, was Morgan and Dominic. They had a taped promo, and Dominic challenged Damian Priest to a match with no one at ringside. We saw Roberto Luongo, and then we got a 6-man tag. This was the New Day versus the New Day and Odyssey Jones versus Karrion Kross and AOP. Not too much to this. The big thing on this match was just that Kofi was about to give the hot tag, and Woods wanted to get it, and he gave it to Odyssey Jones. Odyssey Jones came in and cleaned house. He took care of the Authors of Pain, and he got a big black hole slam on one of the Authors of Pain and got the win. His hot tag was fun. Woods hit that limit break elbow. Kofi did his Trouble in Paradise. So the finishing closing sequence was cool. But again, the big story here is Odyssey Jones gets the win. But Woods was a little bothered by the fact that he was not the guy that got tagged. The other thing worth noting, Rob, is I don't know if you saw the online exclusive after Raw, but Karrion Kross was trying to come up with some new Scooby-Doo scheme to take care of the New Day. And Scarlett was like, babe, leave it alone. You did enough. You scored wins over everybody. You planted the seed. You're a parasite. Let the worm infest the skull.
You know what's funny about this promo that you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I seen in the comments of the video on YouTube, somebody was like, it's kind of they're doing the Bray lore or the Malachi Black eye lore where or Miss lore where it's like Jew lost to Cross and he turned heel and went insane. Ray lost to Cross and he lost his son. Now, AJ, they were like AJ lost to Cross and he turned heel, and I was
Right.
like, okay.
Yeah, so they're doing the whole everything you touch dies thing, and that's kind of the deal here. Is basically just she's like, leave it alone. You planted the seed, let it infect them. You're gonna win in the long run. It's gonna play out exactly how you expect it to. It's not gonna go well for them. We should focus on some other shit. And then she basically was like, come get this ass, and he was like, yes. So
He was like, yes, I don't mind if I do.
don't mind if I do. So good for him. And good for us that this feud is over. So
Yeah. So,
right. Rhea Ripley was backstage and she warned Damian Priest that Dominic's challenge was probably a trap. Priest figured it was, but said it would be worth it if he could get his hands on Dom. He said they shouldn't stop until they pass judgment on the Judgment Day, and Rhea Ripley's like, I like the sound of that. We got a tribute to Alpha Anawai. Rest in peace to Alpha Anawai, one half of the Wild Samoans. Sika passed about a month ago, and so now both of them are going to be together. Michael Cole announces a sold-out crowd of 13,718. We saw Robbie Lawler in the front row. And in the big shock of the night, Rob, this successive piece of business was quite good. Adam Pearce was trying to talk Miz out of facing Bronson Reed because he was supposed to face him in a no DQ match. Pearce said, look, I was on the verge of suspending Reed, but the only thing stopping him was the fact that Miz asked for this match. And then he said, do you want this match? Do you want to do it? And Miz was like, do I want to do this match? Do I want to fight Reed? No, I don't. I'd rather if you just ban the tsunami and suspend this guy and I don't face him. I'd rather not. But he took out R-Truth. And he said, and ultimately R-Truth is a friend of mine. And I don't know if you know this or not, I don't have a lot of friends here. So no, I don't want to fight Bronson Reed. But I have to fight Bronson Reed. And then he walked away. And I was like, wait a minute.
you're like, hey man,
I was like, what the fuck? I was my jaw was dropped at this, but a good promo that led to a no DQ match of Bronson Reed and The Miz. The crowd was very into this. Miz was using chairs and stuff. I like the power scaling of this, Rob, because Reed never needed to use a weapon on Miz because he doesn't need to. His hands are deadly weapons. Whereas Miz, just to kind of stay in the fight for 8 minutes, he has to use chairs and kendo sticks and things of that nature, right? There's a table diagonally set up in the corner of the ring. And Miz was trying to get him in onto that. Bronson Reed wanted to hit him a Death Valley driver on him. Miz escaped, tried to do a skull crushing finale. It didn't work. Ultimately, Miz got Bronson Reed with a tornado DDT off the corner, Eddie Guerrero style, onto a chair. And he tried to get him on the corner through the table again, but Bronson reverses it and hits him with a DVD. He hits him with a Death Valley driver. At one spot in the match, Miz is on the floor and Bronson stepped on him while sitting on a chair with his arms folded, and he was laughing. That's a celebration taunt in Street Fighter, I think. I can't remember what character it is. Either it's like Bison or E Honda or somebody. But that pose where he's like stepping over a guy with his arms folded and he's like, that's a fighting game taunt. But that was cool. This ends when he hits a tsunami. He kills Miz with a tsunami. And the match is over. He's going for another tsunami. And he looked like he wanted to do the tsunami spam that kills people again. But this time he was cut off, Rob, because Braun Strowman returns to Monday Night Raw. We have not seen Braun Strowman since a couple weeks before SummerSlam. And he's back. He's the next big challenge for Bronson Reed. He's standing in the ring ready to fight Bronson. And Bronson isn't scared of him. He's actually laughing. He's like excited at this new challenge. He's like, oh, let's go. He's like, as his evil grin. So Bronson's excited to actually get some real competition here. And I think this is a good piece of business because Bronson's been collecting heads. He's been collecting scalps. And Braun Strowman is a good big body for him to fight and clobber and ultimately beat. And it's another good head on his trophy case. So I thought all around this is a good piece of business. What do you think, Rob?
bro, I did not expect this match to be this good, but Miz in this setting where it basically was a fight for survival type of matchup, and I liked the way they framed it because you see Miz spamming kendo stick shots in the corner, and Bronson Reed still not going down. He's spamming just chair shots and all types of shit. And Bronson Reed, like you said, the power scale, he's still not going down. And it has to take some real shit to hit him with to take him down. But I'm very excited to see next week what Braun and Bronson Reed do in the middle of that ring, brother. We might need a ring break. I can't lie. We need
Yes, sir.
that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have a Kenny Omega update from Observer Newsletter.
We have a couple of updates actually.
Kenny Omega still has some pain, but he is training with moderate intensity. Not expected back anytime soon for wrestling, as he's still got weakness in his abdominal area from the surgery, and he can't stop taking pumps yet. There's no estimate on a return. Well, that's unfortunate. That sounds like he's not coming back this year.
Somebody earlier in the chat put WD sources confirmed there was still some red tape to get through, but another offer is on a long-term television deal was made recently to AEW from the company that they're very confident in.
Yeah,
Led by Fightful.
I don't even trip over TV deal stuff because I just know it's gonna get done eventually. So it's like there's so many people that stress about it and like they live and die in every update. And to me, it's like, well, it's gonna get done inevitably and it'll be fine. So, yeah, that doesn't surprise me. They're gonna get the deal done with WBD. So yeah, that's that. Next we got after that no DQ match, we had Sheamus admitting to Jackie that his hand was hurting, but it was nothing that a pint of Guinness wouldn't fix. Kaiser interrupts and says to Jackie that he says Jackie should be interviewing him instead. After all, he was in the main event, unlike Sheamus, who was in the opener. Kaiser threatened to go after Sheamus once he was done with Randy Orton. Sheamus said, "Hey man, we're 1-1. Let's finish the trilogy." And he said, "Meanwhile, I'll be at the bar watching you get an RKO." Braun Breaker interview. Kathy Kelly asked Braun what was next after beating Sami Zayn. And Braun goes, Kathy, I went to a highly educated university. He said, I'm happy I went to a highly educated university, which is kind of funny. He said, because I heard there'd be a tournament starting next week to determine my next challenger. And he said, that was funny to me. He said he knew Pierce wanted to slow him down because he's progressing too quickly. And Braun said, I get it. He said, it's not my fault I'm a badass. It's not my fault I was a genetic freak with more talent than anyone in the locker room. And it wasn't my fault. It's not my fault that the dogs are barking in every city I go to. But
and he paused.
Yes, sir. And he said he earned the Intercontinental Championship and he won the eventual tournament winner. I'm going to spear you to the floor and give you the beating of a lifetime. And that will be my fault. So this promo rocked. Braun Breaker's fucking awesome. He's quietly starting to become an ace figure. He's turning babyface while still being like a badass that's like ready to kill anybody. I got some notes on this, guys. So Braun's promo was a shoot. They're gonna slow him down a little bit. He's a little banged up. It's like minor shit, just like little spasms of the back and the upper neck area. But stuff that he was willing to wrestle through, but they're gonna slow him down and because the way Hunter looks at it is this lines up with his plan anyway. Because it's like, okay, cool, we can just come up with a new challenger for you and heat up the mid card, like I said earlier. And while we do that, you can kind of like rest your body up. So that's what they're gonna do. Braun's gonna rest up the back and his neck area and all that shit. And we're gonna get some hopefully very good mid card matches on Raw over the next few weeks. So, with that said, Rob, who are 3 people you think have to be in this tournament bracket?
Have to be Ilya, Dragon Lee, and I'm trying to think of a third person. I don't want Chad Gable on this shit at all. I think Kaiser should be in it. Kaiser and Sheamus.
I think they're safe bets for sure. I think they're definitely safe bets. I would like Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee has to be in this bracket, in my opinion. I think Ilya will be in it too. I'm not sure who wins this thing. And I think it depends on who's going to be in it. Like, are they going to put Bronson Reed in it? Is Chad Gable going to be in it, or he's going to be occupied? So I think those are the questions that need to be answered. Like, is Bronson Reed going to be in it? Is Chad Gable going to be in it? And I think depending on the bracket, I'll be able to predict the winner. So we'll see what happens. Someone in the live chat said, can we get Andrade on loan? Could you man Andrade in this bracket? He's been so great lately, too. So that'd be sick. All right. So we got Damian Priest, Dominic Mysterio. This never happened. This led to a hot angle though. So basically, Priest is getting jumped by the Judgment Day. Liv Morgan gets involved. Rhea Ripley.
Hello?
When did I cut out?
You said Rhea Ripley and then you cut out.
Sorry. Yeah, Rhea Ripley got hit with a chair, and she got kind of laid out after that. And Damian Priest is getting stomped out by every single Judgment Day member. They're all hitting their finishers on them. Balor's hitting him. He ate a sling blade. He ate a backstabber. Dominic got him with a frog splash. And this led to all the Judgment Day standing tall over the Terror Twins. So the Terror Twins do not make it 3 weeks in a row of dominating the Judgment Day. Finn Balor's team stood tall over them, and they posed. And I thought this was a good angle. And the people that were like, oh, you know, they never sell for anybody. Like, it's pro wrestling, so obviously there's going to be weeks where they get over on the bad guys, and there's going to be weeks where they don't. So the Terror Twins are they got destroyed this week, and I thought this was a good angle. What did you think?
I quite enjoyed that the Terror Twins actually got like not comeuppance, but they finally got some sort of beat down this week, or some sort of the heels finally got some sort of upper hand in the situation. I like the way they did it too. It was kind of like Liv knew they were gonna do this, so she jumped Rhea from behind, and then fucking the Judgment Day came in. The Judgment Day came in and started beating them up, and I was like, yeah, nigga, take that. But so and they basically made Damian Priest watch her get beat up. I thought she was like gonna try to put her through the table, but I like that she basically just attacked the shoulder. And I think that in Berlin, I think it should be Dom and Liv winning. I don't think they should lose yet. So because Dom's been losing as well, as much as he's been like he won against Ray, obviously, but he's been losing a lot. So
I think the baby faces should win.
you think so?
Yes, because if Balor was in the match, I'd say no, Balor has to win, but it's Dominic, so I would say the faces win this, leading to Rhea Ripley getting another title shot. I think Balor could beat Priest when they get their one-on-one, but I'd like Rhea Ripley to get back to just winning her championship after this. So that's where I'm leaning towards. You give the fans a feel-good moment with this tag match. That's what I'm leaning towards.
No, definitely, and I think where this leads to, I've seen a lot of discourse about this. Do you like see this shit going to Mania? Because I don't. I think we should
No.
do Rhea and Bianca, or Rhea,
No,
or
I
some
don't think
sort of
this is-
Rhea match at WrestleMania.
I don't think it's going to
Yeah,
Mania.
like I don't. I genuinely don't, bro. Like
It's not going to WrestleMania, bro.
like yeah, I'm enjoying the storyline. Don't get me wrong, bro.
But it doesn't have that level of mileage. It doesn't have like.
Bro, the night after Mania, I think I tweeted a Rhea and Bianca graphic, bro.
Mm-hmm. I think that definitely was going to be the direction, but now that Rhea's injured, I think they're going to go on a slightly different one. I think it might be Rhea and Io, but regardless of what they end up doing, I don't think it's Liv and Rhea Ripley. So, no, I think that gets blown off in October.
Yeah. Bad Blood should be the blow up to a lot of stuff before we go into the fall.
Exactly. The next thing here was a bit of a pleasant surprise, Rob, because we got a triple threat women's title match. And it was Alba and Isla versus Io and Kyrie versus Shayna and Zoe. This went 10 minutes, triple threat tag match for the women's tag titles. And this basically was the Damage Control show. The crowd is just so into Io and Kyrie. And it's funny because Kyrie wrestles like Sandman, meaning like she's just kind of like, am I the only one here? All right, I guess so. We'll figure out what's going on there. But yeah, so Kyrie's saying like she's obviously nowhere near where she was before when it comes to like sharpness and smoothness. But ultimately, she is just still so charismatic. And so the crowd is really into her. And now that she's a babyface, her positives are accentuated better, which are basically that she has a knack for performance and she's very charismatic and so on and so forth. So yeah, Kyrie looked good. Io Sky looked fantastic. and they had a great performance here. The Damage Control girls were super duper over, and everybody else was kind of just there. Like literally, this whole match was just It was like 10 minutes of action where just the Damage Control girls were just really over, and Io looked like an absolute stud, and she just did all this cool shit. I think Rob is there. Monty, if you're backstage, send Rob up. Hold on.
Yo, my back?
Yes,
I don't know
you're
what
back.
the fuck happened, but all of a sudden I was just gone.
I don't know. Maybe Pentagon got you.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, so this is just kind of an action-packed match. It wasn't like it was kind of sloppy, but it also was just very, it was very active and very, what's the word I want to use? It was a spirited match where everybody kind of got their shit in, and there's a lot of action, and the Damage Control girls looked really good. And ultimately, I got into this mainly because the crowd was just so into Io. So this is pretty good. The end of the match came when Kyrie went for like an elbow, and then like it got blocked by Shayna, and Shayna was draped over, and people were doing swantons onto like stacks of people and shit. Uh, Alba Fire does a swanton onto Kyrie, who was on top of Shayna Baszler, and Shayna Baszler got pinned, and the Unholy Union retained their belts. What did you think of this match, Rob?
I didn't. It wasn't like great to anything on me, but I really enjoyed the babyface work of Io Sky and fucking Kyrie Sane. And it's like what you brought up a couple weeks ago. It's like when they're babyface, bro, they just like they go out there and wrestle like a pure babyface, bro. They go out there, they do a bunch of dives. They basically get the crowd, bro. When Io just stopped and just started like trying to get the crowd into it, and the crowd
Yeah.
started going fucking crazy, like, and you heard basically the entire arena just rising up and standing up to their feet. It was it was really fucking beast, and I think, and I like the fact that they didn't get pinned tonight. Hopefully, that means that sometime soon the Sky Pirates are going to get the tag titles back. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I tend to agree here. So the next big thing on the show was Jey Uso. Basically, Jey Uso says that he said that Sami Zayn was going to take time off to clear his head, and Zayn had been putting work in week after week, and he would be back with a vengeance. Before he left, Zayn encouraged Jey to go for gold without him. Jey said he's going to enter the Intercontinental Championship tournament and would have the title on his shoulder the next time he was in your city. Yeet. Um, McAfee is leaving. This would be his last Raw for a few months because he's going back to College Game Day, and they aired a video package for Pat McAfee. Next week's Raw, Providence, Rhode Island. Intercontinental Championship tournament begins. Bronson Reed versus Braun Strowman, and Uncle Howdy versus Chad Gable. I like the sound of that card, Rob. Mid-card action, Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman, and then Chad Gable in action. Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Main event was Randy Orton, Ludwig Kaiser. 14 and a half minutes. And this is exactly what you would expect, brother. It's just limb work. It's holds. It's Randy Orton being smooth. It's Randy selling. It's Kaiser being just an asshole and the dipshit. He's slapping Randy up. He's doing all that type of stuff. And ultimately, Randy Orton fires back. Randy Orton got hit with a backdrop onto the table the way he normally does it by Kaiser. Gunther was watching ringside. Randy later turns the tables and does the same thing. He gets to do his draping DDT and his power slam. We got a Brett's rope superplex, which was gorgeous. And ultimately, this match ends when Randy gets Kaiser, of course, with an RKO. And really, what this match felt like to me was like something I'd see from Steve Austin and Dustin Rhodes in like 1992. It was just very, very like American wrestling, like traditional American wrestling. And I enjoyed that. I enjoy Randy's work. I think Kaiser's a very good wrestler. And this was a very good main event. So Randy Orton gets the win and gets some momentum leading into Bash in Berlin. Gunther got in the ring and they got into a fight. And we pretty much had a Nitro ending where it kind of abruptly cuts off while these guys are fighting each other. So good stuff here. Good main event match. The Randy Orton Gunther build has been very good. And yeah, man, it's good stuff. I'm excited to see their match. And Bash in Berlin, we have 4 matches. We have one more match left to be announced. We'll see what that match is going to be. But I thought this was a good ending to a solid episode of Monday Night Raw. What did you think, Rob?
It was a very very good ending. Like I said, we knew this match was going to be what it was, and and they were really striking each other too. But I remember once in the match, Randy was just in the corner, and all of a sudden, Kaiser just hits him with this loud ass chop that like echoes throughout the arena. But it's just like Randy and I like that they're getting more showcase matches in for Kaiser as well. And it's just like they're giving him these matches with Sheamus, and they're giving these matches with Orton, and I think who else did he wrestle in the last few before he got hurt? I think he had the match with Braun, I think it was, or yeah, he had the match with Braun, and he also had the match. Bro, he's having all these matches, and it's really upping his stock. And it's kind of funny how he's up in his stock and Vinci are up in is getting a promo package at the same time. So we'll see that. We'll see where this goes. But Monday Night Raw, that ending was great.
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. Absolutely. Let's take this home with some super chats.
All right, first super chat. We'll take it home with Comic Critical. I mean, was that $2.99? It didn't pop up on the screen for me. Sorry. Comic Critical $5. Y'all really sleeping on Tank Man, Mad Dog, Adam Priest, and the DPW nigga is crazy. I like Tank Man, I like Mad Dog, and I like Adam Priest. Mad Dog had a good dog collar match WrestleMania weekend that I liked. But other than that, it's like, and I like Adam Priest too. But other than that, I can't really think of anybody like I'm like, yo, he needs to be on TV tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's some good wrestlers on the independents. How many of them are like TV stars at the moment? And maybe that's a bit unfair. I think Adam Pearce is. I'm a big fan of Adam Pearce. I've been a fan of his for 3-4 years now. He could definitely be a solid use of some of these TV companies. TNA should sign a guy like him. Mad Dog Connolly, I'm not super familiar with him, and Calvin Tankman, I'm not the biggest fan personally, but I don't know, man. I just like look. I'm not saying these guys you just named are bad wrestlers, but it's like, come on, like think about like the guys you just named, and think about like the level of talent that we would talk about 5 years ago. You know?
The problem with the independent circuit is that the all the PW and I'm not this is not me insulting and shitting on PWG by the way, but it's like all the comedic as non wrestling aspects of like the PWG aspect, and not even just the PWG shit because it wasn't comedy all the time. They're actually great matches. It's just like wrestling has become so memeified and that it's just like the entirety of wrestling WrestleMania weekend. Like yeah, they'll go to PWG and they'll do that comedy shit, but then they would go to the Dallas WrestleMania weekend in 2016 and tear it up at Ring of Honor Supercard. But it's like these guys are just going on like the Joey Janela Spring Break, like fucking Battle Royal. It was just 3 hours of memes, bro. Just literally 2.5 hours of memes, and it's just like, bro, this is supposed you. Like, it's like we've forgotten that this is supposed to be a sport.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Thank you for the super chat, Kale. Oh, sorry. 20 Mexican pesos. Live stands are trying to go band for band with EO. No, come on,
Yeah,
y'all not serious.
I don't deal with those people.
Y'all not serious, bro.
I don't deal with those people.
Yeah, okay. Filthy Slimes, $5. Off topic, guys, but I need Andrade and Jacob Fatu for 20 minutes on a random episode of SmackDown.
That would be fun.
Yo, that would be so fucking good, bro. So good. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the super chat. So the next super chat, Jumanji Hunter, $5. What is your prediction for the finances of the official WBD and AEW deal with the latest Fightful report?
I don't know, bro, because I don't care. Like people have been, like I said, people are stressing about like how many are they gonna get, a billion? Are they gonna get this? Is gonna be this percent rights increase? Is it gonna be whatever? And honestly, and it's not even a disrespect to you, Jumanji. I already said this earlier. I don't worry about those things because I just know, number one, because I don't care and it doesn't affect me. But number two, I know that whatever it is, it's probably going to be a positive and it'll be an increase of some kind from their previous deal. And they're going to do just fine and they'll be okay. And they're not going to die. And so because I know this, I don't ever trip about what the actual numbers are. And I'm not paid to care. So, like, respectfully, again, this is like not against Jumanji Hunter, but I don't have a prediction because I don't stress about that kind of shit. I'm sure Brandon Thurston will have a good idea. I'm sure Dave Meltzer will have a good idea what the actual financial figures are going to be for their TV deal. I can't give you a number. So I don't know. I get paid to analyze professional wrestling. What I don't do is crunch the numbers here. Even though I'm able to do it for like ratings or like ticket sales, when it comes to financial figures for television contracts, that's not really my forte. So that's my answer to you.
All right. Thank you for the super chat. Duce Rhodes, $2. Kyrie is stealing checks.
She's special.
Generational worker.
What a beast.
Bro, what a beast.
What a beast.
It's kind of funny how she just came out and act like she couldn't wrestle anymore when she was a heel. And then as soon as she turns babyface, she's like, yo, I'm just going to start flying everywhere now. That's my wrestling style. It's pretty beast. Thank you for the super chat. Jumanji Hunter. Another
$2, yeah.
Another $2. Would have had a weigh-in for Bronson and Braun next week.
That would have been sick.
Yo, to be honest, just do it on YouTube, bro. Who cares? I would just announce it on YouTube. Who gives a fuck?
Someone in the live chat said, "Is there anything on NXT worth watching tonight?" I feel like you would know it better than anyone, Rob. I don't know what the fuck is. I just went to the NXT Twitter page. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, I'm doing
Lola Vice versus Wendy Chu. Fuck no. Let's see here. Gauntlet Eliminator. We got.
We there.
Let's see if I recognize these women. That's the Italian girl. Sol Ruka, Maddie Rankowski, Jada Parker, Kellerman Petrovich, and somebody that I don't know who this blonde white woman is. But
that's you talking about in the middle of the bottom?
The one on the bottom right.
Oh, that's Kendall Gray, the wrestler chick.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I like Sol Ruka. We'll see about that one. If I hear it's good, I'll check it out. What else we got on this show? I'm scrolling to Twitter. Joe Hendry versus Pete Dunne versus Wesley. I'm gonna skip that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to watch that just for Joe Hendry to win, bro. I'm sorry, I'm not.
Dion Lennox versus Ashanti the Adonis. Yeah, I'm not. You got that one, Rob. You got this episode.
Oh, yeah, we're tapped in. Y'all know us. We tapped in.
Berkey 199. Please put a call in to stop Joe Hendry tonight, please. Nah, he's gonna win that match.
Bro, I can't do it, bro.
I can't do it either. You know why I'm not super angry though, Rob? Is after he has a high profile match with Ethan Page that isn't very good, it'll put a stop to this. I think people will finally like, okay, never mind. We take it back.
Oh, I can't wait for that match to be so. I need it to be worse than the trick match at Battleground. Like I desperately, bro. Desperately.
You don't even have to try to will anything to existence. You can just let the match happen. It's not gonna be that good, bro. It's Ethan Page and Joe Hendry. It's not like you don't have to worry about that being awesome. Like it's gonna be what it is. It's gonna be like an average match, and people are gonna see like, damn, maybe we were a little, we got a little ahead of ourselves with this Joe Hendry guy. Like even LA Knight, who I kind of ragged on last year, he's a way better wrestler than Joe Hendry. He can actually have good matches. He can actually have good matches. So I don't know, man.
Thank you for the super chat. And the last super chat, Chi-Town Spurs, $5. They should make the strap one giant. They should make the strap one giant
friendship bracelet. Rob Reed.
No, I think he meant to say a different word, bro. I don't think he meant to say strap one. Strap one giant friendship bracelet. Hashtag cinema. Hashtag Easter eggs. Hashtag.
Am I losing my mind? Did Rob forget how to read?
No, bro. I think he meant no. Bro.
He's saying to make it a giant friendship bracelet.
Well, maybe. Yo, I was about to.
He wrote that correctly.
Well, half of these fucking things.
Louisiana is in the bottom of education.
No, bro. You can't even do that, bro. Because half these fucking super chats don't be in regular English anyway, bro. So stop. Okay,
Will Chisholm.
All right.
Will Chisholm speaks in gibberish sometimes.
Yeah, bro. So like, you niggas on my dick when tell these motherfuckers to use the right words, bro.
Nah, Chi-Town was fine here. You just can't.
No, but you can't blame me when I'm so used to reading chats and super chats that aren't spelled right, and I'm like, yo, I think this is meant to be a different word, bro. I'm sitting here like, yo, does this nigga mean a different word? What is this nigga talking about?
Zoe said Wrestle Pierce brawl out. Anyways,
Like,
nah.
see, the chat is also saying I'm right, by the way.
No, they're not. Let
Not
me
my fault.
let me see what they're saying. Let me read this.
The
Shit.
chat said I'm right, by the way. Like,
No, they're
come on,
not.
come on. Don't some of the super chats be misspelled and shit, bro?
Yes, I didn't deny that. I'm just
Exactly.
saying. In this case, it was very clear, and you had
Hey man,
you had a malfunction.
I was trying to figure out what this nigga was talking about, bro.
It was very clear.
All right. You know what? Y'all are dick, bro.
What's the next super chat? Do you got any more?
No, we don't have any more super chats, actually.
Well, that's a hilarious note to end on. Chi-Town, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. And we'll see you guys next week. Oh, never mind. Oh, my God. Let's go. Let's go.
Excuse me?
Chi-Town, $20. This is for the Louisiana Public Education Fund.
No, you know what? This is not my fault, bro. This is not my fault, bro.
Chi-Town.
Yo, I want to say a lot. I want to say a lot, but I'm not gonna say nothing at all. I'm gonna be completely respectful. I'm going to say a lot right now. There's a lot I want to say, but I'm gonna keep it. But I'm not trying to.
Rob was about to come at Chicago.
No. I'm not even about to come to Chicago. I was just about to say some shit in general, but I'm gonna leave it alone, bro. Y'all got it, bro. Y'all got this one. Fine, bro.
Chi-Town, thank you so much. I'll make sure this goes to the education fund. Rob, I appreciate you. We both kind of had janky internet this week, but we made it work, and we had over 175 live viewers for the entire stream. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for your continued support. And hopefully next week, we'll be back with to talk about hopefully what's a good wrestling episode of Monday Night Raw. Also, what's next week's date? Check here.
Let's see. Next week.
Oh, it'll be the 27th. So
yes.
All right, guys, I have an announcement to make. Barring unforeseen circumstances, next week will be the return of Jana to the Wrestle Pierce Raw review. Jana is back. She's with us, and she will be covering Monday Night Raw with us. So, there you go, guys. Raw review next week. We'll be back at it. Jana's back, and we'll have some fun. So thank you guys so much for supporting. We'll see you guys next time. Make sure to like the video if you have not liked it already. And drop a comment of any kind you want on the video because it helps our visibility. And so with that, I bid you guys adieu. And for my boy Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night.